budget implications, you're gonna have to find money. And that was kind of the end of all that.
I understand that, but not something we're gonna do for people.
Right, right, but in the middle of a budget year, we can make that adjustment. We can do this.
I recall that.
Yeah, we can do a lot of things. It has to be done in a thoughtful manner.
When it comes up and if there's any changes.
Yeah, I know, I see people walking past my house in the street all the time.
Yes.
Mike and I knew this was a mistake when it happened 2 years ago. And we wanted to get the budget passed, we acquiesced. And then we had a person here in the
When you go to the consent agenda,
So we're watching
tell them that where the wording is incorrect.
I mean, I watched them get off the bus 2 houses on from me. The kids get off the bus on the street. I thought it was true that
Yeah, well,
90% of them in my neighborhood.
well, mine's clear from the driveway to my neighbor's driveway around the corner.
You know, put the word annual or
Yeah, once in a while, the people in those condos behind me who clear that sidewalk, they might wait 3 weeks. Well, so Ashley told me that you were going to ask to have that moved. I always invite everybody when we go to approve of the agenda. If there's a question on the agenda, so I take something off. So that would be, when we get to this, approve of the agenda, I'll ask for changes to the agenda. Anybody can propose any changes to the agenda. And, if you want to move something around on the agenda, change it over there, put it in a different place. That'd be the time to do it. Yeah, and because the actual item, you listen year by year. Which is what we're approving. You know, the way the agenda reads is sometimes a little odd. But no, I'm fine with that. Just when we get to this point, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda so that we can do something with it. We get a motion, a second, what about changes to the agenda?
and then they ask if there's any changes.
Yeah,
And then
any changes, then you can propose that. We would have to vote.
Are we talking about this?
yeah.
She wants to move it to next new business. Yeah, under consent agenda, you really can't do much with it.
Right. So either
Or move it off the consent agenda.
Well, let's move it to new business so you can make a change. So, and then I would ask Ashley to make it the first item of new business for the lawyers. Because she thought the extra week.
I think it might be better instead of saying annually to make it just like that. It's so weird how brains work, like this muscle memory.
And you know, right, and we would approve payments as they come.
Yes, I think we should just approve it as a whole 5-year
So let's-
contract.
We'll move it to new business, and then we will articulate what we want it to say. You know, so I'd say, well, we're actually doing voting on account. Not the outweigh the agenda. Why we just do it that way, as long as we're clear about that attorney. Scotty, you watching the time for me? All right, thanks. I just happened to think you were over there.
30 seconds.
That's what we'll do. We have to vote. We have to vote on the team and then vote on the
More in it.
Welcome, everyone, to this regular city council meeting for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Marie, would you call the roll?
Fritz,
Here.
Callio. Here. Lyon. Here. Dora.
Here.
Manetza.
Here. Invocation this evening is by Tim Taylor. Is Reverend Taylor here?
I don't see him.
Okay. Well, then please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no appointments or reappointments this evening, so it brings us to the approval of the consent and regular agendas. Can I get a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Dora, second by Lyon. Changes to either the consent or regular agenda?
I would like to suggest a change to the consent agenda. I'm just talking about the wording of item C. I think that needs some clarification based on, it's a 5-year service agreement in the budgeted amount of $26,491.86, but that either needs to have an adjustment to add annually or put the actual 5-year service agreement total on it.
Would it be best to move this to new business so that we can discuss that at length?
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So would you like to make a motion to,
I make a motion to move it to new business?
so then it would become, instead of 11C, it would become 14A, and then all the other items in new business would be renumbered. Any questions on that? Is there a second for it?
Second.
Okay, second by Lyon. Let's vote on this amendment to the agenda. Please call the roll.
Callio.
Yes?
Lyon.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Dora.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Other changes to the agenda? No? Okay. If there are no further changes to the agenda, let's vote on the amended agenda.
Dora.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Callio.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right. Moving on, we come to our first call to the audience. This is the first of two opportunities. At this time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Those addressing council are asked to provide their name and address, will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. Council will hear all comments for future consideration, will not have a response at this time. Those not physically present who would like to call in may dial 616-935-3203. Who would like to address council?
Good evening. Jim Hagan, 400 Lake. I had the opportunity last week to attend the BLP board meeting, and they had a pretty lengthy discussion on the proposed solar at the airport. I was really happy to see that, it had drawn so much attention and that the board was interested. One thing, I came out of it sort of confused. The idea was floated to have a constant credit rate of $0.06385 per kilowatt hour for 20 years. And in today's environment with inflation, pretty much, we don't know what's going on. The cost of electricity, we don't know what's going on. AI, how that's going to impact, we don't know a whole lot of things. So I'd rather not have long length fixed rate credits for the participants. To me, that says that the participants will take on a whole lot of risk, right? And we don't want that from a participant. This is a small project. They're talking now maybe 300 kilowatts instead of the 500. So if there's, a little bit of unknowns around the budget and so forth, it should be borne by the BLP, not by individual participants. So I think a good solution to this is to look at another way of indexing this. And I think a good way of indexing it would be to look at the basket of PPA contracts, the power contracts that they're, power purchase contracts that they have with a number of solar entities now, and use those year to year, have protection on upside, downside, that type of thing. And that way, we'll see small changes, and we won't go too far off from something that's fair to all parties. Just to let you know, I went through the, one of the projects that was done previously, and this was 2015, was the East Lansing Solar Project, Community Solar. And they had 0.065 was their credit rate at a fixed rate of 2.3, and you'll see where that blue line ended up as compared to a fixed rate, and that's 57% higher. And lately I've read that, rates are going to be higher, maybe 3%. You look at 3%, and it's up in the 80% change. So I definitely feel we don't want to stay with a fixed rate of reimbursement. So I guess I'm asking everybody to be aware of that. The BLP strategic planning is starting. So this is really a good time for the community to talk about what's important to us and, what kind of risk we're willing to accept and our vision of what that project should look like. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? If no one else, then we're going to close the call to the audience. We'll move on to our consent agenda. Would you please read that?
Item A, approve the special work session and regular council meeting minutes for January 5th, 2026. Item B, approve the bills memo in the amount of $1,359,986.60. Item C has been moved to new business. Item D, approve the professional services proposal from Adam Marsh Consultants, Inc. for engineering services for the preparation of a project plan document for application to the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy's EAGLE DWSRF program in the not-to-exceed amount of $12,000. And item E, approve a grant agreement with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for redevelopment-ready community technical assistance funds for the Centertown Vision Plan update and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Lyon. Comments or questions on any of these remaining items? If not, please call the roll.
Fritz?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes. All right, first item of new business.
Consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a 5-year services agreement with Axon Enterprises in the budgeted amount of $26,491.86.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Dora. All right, Sarah, you asked for this to be moved. Would you please take it away?
Yep. I think my only comment was the wording of the actual agenda item. And I think that we either need to add annually after the 26,000 or put the total amount of the 5-year contract.
I think we need to put the total amount of the 5-year contract only because it's 5 years plus a few months of this year that are still not quite part of it. So I would recommend that we do the $147,459.26. It's just the total contract amount.
That's all I have.
Chief, would you like to talk about this item?
Hi, good evening.
We're just trying to get the wording right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's sometimes the confusion with these is you're not sure specifically what amount should be in there, but, yeah, obviously, we did our due diligence to try to make our services cheaper, but at least meet our needs, and we haven't been happy with our current provider for our services, so we're very thankful that we were able to get out of that contract and move into a much better product on top of adding services for around the same cost. So looking forward to moving ahead with this deal with Axon.
Okay.
Total amount.
Yeah, I think probably the best way to word is total amount and so much annually is put both things in there, I would think.
Okay, I agree.
So you're going to be more happy with this system than what you have now.
Well, we say that, right?
Yes.
But we've had nothing but problems since January of '24 with our body cameras and in-car camera system. And so we're really hoping with the improved technology and a lot of our systems with TASER also are already with Axon. And so we're really hoping the onboarding with evidence with the court and everything, it'll work a little bit better with our system. Plus actually get our interview room recording up and running because we haven't had that through Motorola as well. So we're pretty excited for the fact that we're able to get them down about 300% off their first quote when we first initially discussed this. So we're excited to do business with us as well. So.
And it sounds like other area municipalities are using them and you've.
Yeah,
spoken
so
with
the
them.
Ottawa County is now transitioning to Axon because they have in-cars and tasers as well.
Okay.
And that also has brought in the Ottawa County courts when we start to do our on-base with sending over videos. It sounds like Holland Police Department, Zealand, and Grand Valley are also looking at transitioning to Axon as well. So hopefully at the end of the day, all Ottawa County be through an Axon enterprise. So,
Okay, very good. So
thank you.
So let's have a motion to amend the agenda item to reflect the total amount and the annual amount.
So moved.
The second?
Second.
Mo-
I'll say.
Motion by Kelly, second by
There you
Dora,
go.
to amend this agenda item.
Can I get those amounts?
Maybe?
So the motion on the floor is to amend the contract amount to read $147,459.30 across the 5 years contract.
And annually?
Are the numbers different
Oh,
per year?
no, it was 26,
26, whatever that is.
sorry, just left the page.
It's only different for the
Was
first
15
initial,
15,000.
15,000 for
For
the
the first,
initial.
and then 26, 491.86 for the
Yes.
remaining 5.
So the total amount's more comprehensive.
Yep.
Yeah, but then, you know, it'll appear in different budget years as well. So if we're doing all this, let's just spell it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so to read that 147,000 amount for 5 years and 26,000, the 26,000 amount annually? That's what we want?
Yeah, we understand that the first year will be a prorated amount. All right, can I get a, okay, let's vote on that, let's vote on that amendment.
Callio?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes, now let's vote on the amended motion.
Fritz?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes, thank you. Now it's clear to all. No question about what we voted on. All right, next item, please.
New business B, consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve the principal shopping district to continue the program established by Special Assessment Districts 597, 601, and 604, the results of which were submitted to the City Council on October 19, 2015, November 2nd, 2020, and January 19, 2021. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Callio. You want Ashley or Shandi to address this?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
good evening. This is just I believe the third or fourth step in approving the city council, or the resolution for the renewal of the principal shopping district. This step authorizes the county to do the roll for the parcels, which we'll have at the next council meeting, public hearing for those parcels. So this is a pretty easy step, but seems to be things are moving fairly well for it. So any other questions?
Okay,
I can answer.
questions? Anything to add, Ashley?
Nope, just following the step-by-step process.
Yep.
Questions?
No.
Just call the roll.
Fritz?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
New business C, consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a 2-year lease agreement renewal between the City of Grand Haven and Abin-Marsh Consultants, Inc., with a term beginning January 21, 2026. Administration recommends approval.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Dora. Ashley or Dana?
It's me.
It's Dana.
Good evening, council. So tonight before you, we're asking for you to approve a 2-year lease extension with Avon Marsh. They've been tenant of ours in the space below the Department of Public Safety for 4 years now. So we're looking to extend it for another 2 years with an option by either party to extend it for another 2 years or upon agreement of both parties for another 2 years. I do want to point out that I did have a minor error, not in the lease, but in the memo. The square footage is 2,640 square feet, so it's correct in the actual lease agreement. I sometimes get numbers transposed, so I apologize about that. So all the numbers are right, they're just not in the right order in the memo. So I apologize about that. But we are recognizing a necessary increase, a CPI increase in the lease agreement, which is consistent with our other license and lease agreements. So we've been very happy with the arrangement. It's been mutually beneficial, and we're asking you to extend that for another 2 years.
Questions, comments?
Do we not expect to do any build out of that building in the next 2 years? We don't have a timeline yet, and I'm just.
Right. We don't have an exact timeline. I mean, I know that staff is working on that. We didn't see that that would interfere with the work on public safety. And we do both have options for getting out of the lease if necessary, and they're aware of our plans and our intent to eventually use that space.
Yeah, I think to the extent we would look to release the RFP, go through that process, award, and get the appropriate approvals, and then begin the construction process. I think that buys us a fair amount of time where we're comfortable with the arrangement.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that 2 years would be reasonable time before you'd want to act on that space if you need it. I assume at some point we're going to reclaim that space and make it part of public safety. That just seems realistic to me.
Yeah.
It's just going to take some time to get there. You have to figure out what we're going to do with the financing because this money will roll in slowly from the millage.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hope to be back before you very quickly with a more formal plan to present publicly on the next step in that process.
Right. Yeah, I know we passed this understanding our needs, but now with all the details worked out. So now that's the point we're at. But the lease is reasonable for the current situation. And they've been a good tenant. We've been glad to have them there.
I agree.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Fritz?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes. Next item, please.
New business D, consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve the 2026-2027 municipal joint early voting site agreement between Spring Lake Township, City of Grand Haven Charter Township, Robinson Township, and the City of Ferrysburg and Ottawa County, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents.
And I get a motion?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Lyon. Maria, would you like to tell us about this?
Yes, so as you know, starting in 2024, local jurisdictions are now required to provide 9 days of early voting for all state and federal elections. For the 2024-2025 contract years, the City of Grand Haven was part of a county-wide contract with Ottawa County. In January of 2025, Ottawa County decided that they would not be interested in doing that going forward. So myself and the other clerks in the Tri-Cities Northwest area of the county decided to get together to create our own joint municipal agreement. The main goal is just to cost share and then also share the workload of early voting.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Looking at the numbers of 2,000 hours, I mean, I know it was countywide. Are we confident that with everybody in our municipalities working together that we can do this reasonably? And I mean, I know it's putting a lot of work on a few people's shoulders.
So part of the reason why there were so many hours is it was the first time it had ever been done in the state. And then also the county, traditionally, this is not their area of expertise and requirements when it comes to elections. polling location management, worker recruitment, location setup, all of that is handled by the locals. So we already have enough infrastructure, training materials, experience to be able to handle it better by ourselves. So it would not be as labor intensive for us to handle that compared to the county when they had to start from scratch. The county also had a lot of brand-new employees at the time who'd never worked an election, so that's kind of compounding why they had so many overtime hours.
Okay, well, I appreciate all the work that I know that went into this and the collaboration of everybody in our area that is doing this together to make sure that this is going to happen for us.
Okay, anything else? Let's call the roll.
Fritz?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Dora?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes. And that brings us to report by city council. And I think we'll go to Mr. Dorr first.
Yeah, I would like to go first if I could. When we had our initial goals conversation, there was some talk about possibly re-implementing the snow removal from city sidewalks. I know a lot of the fellow council members had nodded and agreed that that would be a thing to do. And I would like to propose, if everyone is in agreement, that we resume removal of snow from the city sidewalks as soon as possible and request for the remainder of this fiscal year, and request staff to prepare a budget adjustment and present to council at the next meeting for adoption, so which would be February 2nd.
Okay. And so, yeah, I don't think this requires a formal motion. I think it requires
Just
us to have a consensus that we want to see a proposal from staff as to what it would take to do that.
Yep.
It'd be great. Doesn't hurt to see what it looks like, right?
I agree with you, Mike, 100%. I've been adamant for having sidewalks plowed anyways, because we have an aging populace here, and it's very difficult for a lot of them to get out there in the snow, and plus, it's such a hazard right now. My wife is a good example. She went to the post office today, and she had to walk in the street to get there. So, I mean, if we can do what we did before, I don't see no reason why. It's the taxpayers' money that we're spending on it, so why not use their money?
Yeah, well, I think that, and I agree, not plowing the sidewalks was never a good idea. We did as a budget adjustment 2 years ago. We didn't fix it last year. We're in the middle of this fiscal year, so it would take a budget. So we should entertain that adjustment, see what it would take, and then have a formal vote on it. So they can bring us back the information. And there again, I don't think we need to vote to ask for that information, but we will need to vote to adjust the budget. Make sense?
Never hurts to entertain it.
Ashley, do you need anything else from us?
Nope, we'll have something for you to consider at your next meeting.
Okay, and hopefully we can get people off the streets and on the sidewalks.
That would be perfect.
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
No, everybody dress warm. It's going to get cold.
No.
If you're going down for Winterfest, make sure you wear layers, bundle up. Enjoy it, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, I was just to say, anyone who missed their day of service for in remembrance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day yesterday, I hope they found a unique way to give back on a very cold day, or find a way to give back as things thaw out in the future, and just to honestly keep in your thoughts those that are unhoused in times like this, specifically in ways that we can give back and bless people. And again, yes, Winterfest is this weekend. It's their 50th. So come down and celebrate, bundle up. It's winter in Michigan. Let's have some fun and celebrate it being over. That's what Kevin said. We're celebrating the end of winter. So this is it. It gets one last hurrah.
We hope.
So this is it.
You got to order in for warm
Yes, this is it.
weather? I'll hold you to that. Thank you. Sarah?
So, wow, a lot of snow. And it's not that we're not used to it, but I'd like to thank the DPW for working very hard, and I'm sure a lot of hours right now, clearing us out enough so that we can still operate. And in honor of the observation of Dr. Martin Luther King yesterday. I know our nights are long right now, and I think it's a good reminder to, even though things feel very dark, probably figuratively and literally in a lot of people's lives right now, we can also remember one of his quotes, which was, "Only when it is dark enough can you see the stars." So let's try to find things to celebrate, and Winterfest coming up would be a great one. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very good. Yeah, Winterfest. Dress warm. It's going to be really cold, definitely. And also remember, we do have some warming places. I think the community center is open for our Central Park, is open for a warming center during the day, and also our public libraries. And also, if you want to go into the post office and stand in there, you can stand in there. Also, they have a warming spot. If anybody out there has a chance, if you see someone that really needs to get warm somewhere, help direct them to a place that they can get inside and get some heat. Because I know there's some people in town here that are homeless, and they live in different places, and if you see them, try and encourage them to get to some place where they can get warm. And always remember, no matter how well you have it yourself, somebody else is not that well. So please go out and do your best to help someone. Because you're right, it is dark times sometimes right now. So anyways, but it's going to get cold. It's going to get real cold. So, and I want to say thank you to DPW, because I tell you what, salt don't work very good out there right now. It's just like glass. So if you're out there driving, drive very, very safe. I don't want to see you at my shop. I want you to, I'd rather see you at Myers or someplace else. I don't need to have you come down to my shop with your vehicle. So drive safe, take your time, and plan ahead for a long drive if you're going somewhere.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I echo all that. It's winter time. Most of us were raised here. We understand it, but you have to be reminded every year. Sometimes we have to relearn how to drive every year. But we get there. Drive carefully, and again, as was said very thoughtfully, there are people. We live in our comfortable homes, but there are those who don't have those necessities, those comforts, and we should always be thinking of them, thinking of how we can be helpful and where we can be a benefit. So, all excellent thoughts. Thank you, everyone. And at this point, I will turn it over to City Manager for some project updates.
And I will now turn it over to Dana, who oversees our economic development function, to give some timely project updates.
Yes, good evening again. It has been a little bit since we've shared some updates with council formally and to the public. So Ashley mentioned at the last meeting we would be sharing an update, and I've got 5 or 6 projects here that I want to share some updates on. The first being the South Village project off of Robbins Road, the former Dake project site. We are working with the development team on the preliminary site plan approval follow-up. So they've already been to the Planning Commission, if you recall, initially, and had a site plan approval. And Brian is working with them on kind of checking off the different aspects of the conditions of that approval. So they're getting closer to coming back to the Planning Commission this spring. We're anticipating that. In the meantime, too, they had an initial request to the EDC BRA regarding a housing TIF. That board did have some questions and additional items to follow up on. So we are working through that list of questions before bringing that back to the EDC BRA for consideration of that incentive before you all see it. So we're expecting that in February, and it'll come before you after that point, should it get approved at the February meeting. Regarding the Chinook Pier project, while we were hopeful that we would have a groundbreaking this spring in April, because the soil sampling results have taken longer than we expected from the labs and from Eagle, we're still waiting for some of those results. We have one more test before a formal report is issued at the first week of February. That has pushed back their timeline. So right now they're looking at after Coast Guard to get started. So it gave us kind of a month time frame within August with no specific groundbreaking date yet. So we have been in touch with the farmers market. They do plan to operate in their existing location until such time that they need to move. And they'll be coming back with a formal request for a different location. So staff had been working with them on an alternate for this season, and so we've got some of that already in the works. But for now, they're going to stay where they were and then start communicating where they're going to be to their customers as needed. In addition, the festival will be able to continue to have the carnival there for this season, and mini golf as well, which we're coming up with a plan for that because we had anticipated that not being in operation this season. The Grand Landing Hotel, the representatives of that development did reach out to our staff and request an extension to their request for their PD. And that will be before you then again at the February 2nd meeting, as that is a council request that needs to occur. So you'll be considering that request for an extension for a year. The diesel plant, the development team has encountered some challenges with the feasibility of developing the site as originally planned, but they are working through the different options, but they, at this time, haven't submitted a site plan application to the city, and we really don't have a confirmed timeline while they look into those different options. Grand Haven Jewelry, it's been some time since you've had an update on that building. We have not had any recent updates from the developer. So the staff is requesting a letter of intent from the property owner, as well as addressing code enforcement issues with the building in the meantime. Then finally, on my list, I have the Downtown Hotel at 233 Washington. This week, we are expecting the ATM building off of Columbus to be demolished. So that is owned by the same property owner, with asbestos abatement taking a little longer than they anticipated over the next few months. So they're looking to demolish the other structures on Washington in March. So there is like a 2-month delay behind the original expected timeline. And as we know, with construction, you don't entirely know how that'll play out, but they're looking to be open for the summer season in 2027. So there's the project updates.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Questions, comments?
Lots of them.
Appreciate
Obviously, lots going on, and it looks like we've solved some problems by one being a little bit late, so that'll work out, I think, for all the best.
In the meantime, while we wait for soil samples and things for Chinook Pier, I mean, we're still waiting for design and all
Correct.
that stuff to come to us, so I'm hoping those plans are still gonna be in
Yes.
the works, so when
They're
August
looking-
is coming, we
Yeah,
can hit the
Aaron,
ground
they're
running.
looking at coming forward for a preliminary planning commission discussion yet in this first quarter. So other aspects of the project are moving along behind the scenes. They're also working on finalizing letters of intent for their tenants. So there's different parts and pieces moving. We've been in discussions with the MEDC regarding some of their programming and getting that in front of their leadership as well. So there's a lot of moving parts that are happening at the same time. We're not simply waiting for soil results only.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but thanks.
Yep, no problem.
So when we agreed to the ground lease,
Yes.
at that point in time, we said we still need to execute a development agreement, and I assume that we'll be seeing that relatively soon?
Yes, we don't have an exact meeting date, but we can work on getting that for you so you know when to expect that with Copper Rock.
Because that's another piece that has to fall into place.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you for the update. That's, Ashley didn't have anything else?
Nope, that covers it.
That was it, huh? Okay. Well, then that brings us to our second call to the audience. This time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. You're limited to 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. If you want to call in, dial 616-935-3203.
Good evening again, Jim Hagan, 400 Lake. The diesel plant discussion reminded me, I had submitted an email to the city, a number of people, about the hazard associated with those steps. And during the summer, I've seen people stepping on them and, they're broken up. People can fall and really, get hurt, their heads, et cetera. So I think somebody needs to correct that situation, put a barricade, put tape. For a city like Grand Haven to allow that kind of thing to go on and on and on we shouldn't see that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Anyone else? Well, if there is no further business, then we are adjourned. It's just a question.